Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
The government has some exciting news for students. We'll tell you what's in store.
Impacting our students' abilities to get a job and contribute to Alberta's economy.
We also take a look at how rising food costs are affecting the culinary industry.
I think restaurant closures is definitely something that I'm worried about.
And after months without a president, the NAIT Student Association is finally filling that role.
They're going to represent the students for the next year and advocate for the rights and responsibilities of them here on campus.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. Significant changes are in the works to help post-secondary students bear that cost of living burden.
While unfortunately this does not take effect this semester, the UCP government is capping tuition increases, reducing student loan interest rates, and doubling the grace period to pay back student loans.
And so Alberta's government remains committed to ensuring that our post-secondary system remains accessible and affordable for all students.
Domestic tuition will cap at 2% in the 2024-25 academic year and every year following. Graduate student loan repayments have been reduced to the prime rate, taking away the additional 1%. And the student loan interest-free grace period will increase from 6 to 12 months.
I'm pleased to say that this change makes Alberta a leader in Canada, with only one other province, Prince Edward Island, offering students 12 months of interest-free grace period, and Alberta will now join them.
There is currently no tuition cap for international students, despite them also bearing the same cost of living burden as domestic students. The government is still in conversation about how to resolve this.
After 5 months of uncertainty, the votes are in. A new NAIT Student Association president is stepping into the role.
We have the election for all 4 positions, which are the president and all 3 VPs.
It's been 5 months since the NAIT Student Association lost its president for reasons unknown. Luckily, the remaining council members were happy to step up and fill the role as a team. The newly elected president and 3 vice presidents will represent all NAIT students for the next year and advocate for their rights and responsibilities.
It's obviously a really big win. It's super exciting, especially because I'm currently already in a position with the Executive Council. It's really excited to be able to continue all that work and just be able to be a part of it for a whole nother year. It's super exciting.
As of last night, Tylene Sason has been elected as the new NAITSA president. After the 24-hour appeal period is over, her presidency will become official.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
The collision reporting centers in North and South Edmonton are adding more kiosks and staff in response to increased demand since opening in September 2022. Kiosks have been added to the South Collision Reporting Center so drivers don't have to wait for staff. A drive-through option and having citizens report from home, then going to the center to finish the process are being considered.
We're about 19,000 people that have come in and visited, and then we're averaging about 70 to 100 a day, depending on how busy it is with the weather conditions and whatnot. And then I think our record to date is we've had 300 people come in one day to report.
Drivers can check wait times for each center on accsupport.com/Edmonton.
The Edmonton Police Service is welcoming a new diverse team of 27 constables that are ready to serve our community. The new team of constables is celebrating the completion of their rigorous training. Although all of them came from their own diverse backgrounds that led them here, their one common goal remains: to serve and protect.
One of my first experiences with law enforcement was one of fear. I remember sitting in the car, shaking, just worried what was going to happen next. I didn't want that same feeling to be something that my kids go through. You know, I don't want them to be afraid of somebody who's wearing a badge, so why not be somebody who they can look at, somebody that they don't have to fear.
The Edmonton Police Service is seeking applicants of all backgrounds and life experiences. For more information, visit their website at joineps.ca.
A local vet clinic is helping with bereavement. The Edmonton Holistic Veterinary Clinic is the first to hire a veterinary social worker to help pet owners through pet loss.
You have to keep that snaggletooth healthy forever, okay, Nan? It has to stay there.
Joey Leslie started in March 2022 after experiencing her own pet loss. She helps pet owners and their families talk about life with their pets. Sessions cost $65 to $100, and pet owners are welcome to seek services before losing their animals.
Grief can be really intense for people because it's directly related to the amount of love that somebody has for the animal that they've lost. So talking about it and being able to share stories and being able to process all of those feelings is really important.
Leslie also helps veterinary staff, and her free pet loss support group runs twice a month.
Coming up after the break, we have the answer to our first question of the week.
And am I the only one who is swamped with assignments for Family Day? Stay tuned to find out.
I'm Nate Fraser, and the Ooks are pushing hard for a championship game, and the Edmonton Elks sign a key receiver. All that and more coming up in sports.
I'm Pavel Clark. On the heels of some frigid temperature, we have been experiencing brief periods of warmth. Coming up after the break, I'll tell you exactly what to expect going into this weekend with your NAIT NewsWatch weather forecast. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Nora, I am so ready for the long weekend ahead, especially if all this warm weather continues.
Really? I must be one in a million because I'm hoping Cavell tells us it's going to be colder this weekend. Don't judge me.
Mackenzie and Nora, you two are polar opposites. Pardon my pun. Now, it's usually said that you can't please everyone, but the weather going into this weekend and going into the long week ahead will be pleasing to some of you at home, depending on which end of the spectrum you fall. Now, it's going to start off nice and warm, and then it's back into that cold air for us. Starting Monday, we should see that -8, -10 afternoon temperature, and then the week is going to get a little bit colder. So this weekend is the week for us to really enjoy that big blast of warmth, milder air until it's welcome back to the winter. Let's get into some specifics. For Calgary, it's mostly cloudy with a 60% chance of not only snow but wet snow with a low of -4 and a high of 5. Now, for pedestrians and motorists, you want to be extremely cautious when you're going about your day-to-day activities. Let's move on over to Jasper. Mostly cloudy again, 60% chance of snow, so we're seeing a little bit of trend there. On the low side, it's -6, high -2. Moving into Fort McMurray, again, mostly cloudy, 60% chance of snow, but low -21 and high -14. Now, usually when we have this warm weather in the weekend, you have that cold air come crushing in, squeezing the moisture out of the air, and that results in snow over the province. So that is to be anticipated going into Sunday. The heart is at home. Let's go into Edmonton. Mostly cloudy, 40% chance of flurries with a low of -8 and a high of 2. Now let's take a look at the average high for Edmonton as well. It's -3 with an average low of -13. Now the record high and low, record high recorded in 1899 was 12, and the record low recorded in 1885 was -41. Get out there, enjoy this warm weather that we have this weekend. And for those of you who are looking to see some fresh snow on the ground to maybe go cross-country skiing, this weekend is the weekend for you. But of course, have fun and be safe.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
It's time for our question of the week, and we are partnering up with the NAIT Nugget to hear your voices and issues that affect you.
And voicing your thoughts might win you a prize.
But first, congrats to our last week's winner, Jimbo Jimmy Jams. He says maybe instead there could be famous Canadian locations or people who are famous for other things like Jean Augustine. She made an impact in regards to human rights, economic development, acted to improve solutions and support towards HIV/AIDS, and fought against discrimination. Congrats, Jimmy Jams.
With a reading break coming up, some students are swamped with assignments and can't relax. This week's question is about homework during our time off. Should teachers plan their homework around reading week so students don't have things due? Tell us your experience. You can submit your response to the NAIT Nuggets Instagram page at the NAIT Nugget by leaving a comment on the Question of the Week post. Then the Nugget will pick a winner at random for next week's show. It's that time of year for sports teams to shake up their rosters and push for playoffs.
That's right. A lot is happening right now. Our Nate Frazier has more with sports.
Thanks, guys. The Ooks men's volleyball team hosts their final home game of the season tonight. They play a winner-takes-all play-in game against the Concordia Thunder for a chance to compete at the provincial championship. The Ooks finished the regular season with 12 wins and 7 losses, putting them third in their division and qualifying for the play-in round. The team is focused on having everyone healthy so they can come in with a full roster.
We're actually trending down a little bit. We're at that point in the season when it's been a long year. Guys are pretty hurt, so we try to manage our bodies as best we can, and we shut our practices down a couple minutes earlier so we're fresh when it matters most. So all the hard work was done September through November in terms of the load on our bodies. So.
After the play-in round, the rest of the championship games are hosted by Keano College in an Elite 8 style tournament. Winning, winning, and more winning for the women's hockey team. Approaching the end of the regular season, the Ooks are 12-3, looking to win a 4th championship for their club. The Ooks are first in the league, only 3 points ahead of Red Deer, and with just 5 games left in the season, they're hoping to finish strong and go into playoffs with home ice advantage.
And these games are obviously going to be against the teams that we're playing in playoffs. As we get further along, and if we're able to give ourselves a little bit of a cushion in first or be at second for home ice, then yeah, we would definitely look at doing that.
A winning team comes with winning players. The Ooks have 4 players that are among the top 5 point leaders, and you should expect to see them in action when playoffs begin on March 10th. A dozen Alberta curling teams gathered to the River Cree Resort and Casino over the weekend for the Boston Pizza Cup, a tournament that decides which team will represent Team Alberta at the Tim Hortons Brier. Here's Amran Wahidi with more.
Hard! Hard! Hard, hard, hard!
On Sunday, the Boston Pizza Cup came down to its final 2 teams, Team Cooey and Team Botcher. With a high level of competition, both teams have their sights set on the 2023 Tim Hortons Brier Championship, a tough match that Team Cooey came out on top of.
It's world class. Like, really, if you win this event, if you look at the past, you have a good chance of winning the Brier and representing Canada at the World. So, yeah, it's elite class curling for sure.
For Team Cooey, they have high expectations in their first year together, as they are just one of 3 teams that will be representing Team Alberta in London for the Brier coming up in March.
Just keep practicing, keep it getting better. It's a new team this year, so we're gonna just take it one step at a time like we have been this year. We've been building all year and got a good win here, and hopefully we can take it into the Brier.
The newly formed team has made quite the impression after taking down tournament favorites in Team Botcher. Team Cooey punches their ticket to the 2023 Tim Hortons Brier Championship, where they will get the opportunity to represent Team Canada at the 2023 Men's World Cup Curling Championships. Amran Wahidi, NewsWatch Sports.
The Edmonton Elks add some new faces to the team. One of the new additions is CFL All-Star and the most outstanding player of the year, Eugene Lewis. The Elks finished the 2022 season in last place, but still have a lot to look forward to with young talent and old leadership.
I know my team is going out there giving the best effort, putting the best foot forward, being disciplined, and trying to help each other each and every day. I think the sky's the limit. I think the potential for this team is very high. It's a lot of young guys. It's going to be some more experienced guys that come on this team now. And it's just going to be about, protecting the quarterback.
The Elks officially signed Lewis on Tuesday, along with Kyron Moore and Stephen Dunbar Jr. All three will be in factor for the Elks to bounce back. The Elks have Lewis signed for the next 2 years, and among the other signings, especially at the receiver position, this gives me hope for the next couple of years. And also, the team has announced a super value season ticket pack for families to get more seats filled this season. Plus, they're hosting a free Family Day drop-in with activities led by the players themselves. You can find more on the Edmonton Elks website.
Sounds fun. I might take my family to check that out.
Yeah, and hopefully this is a turning point for the Elks.
Yeah, especially since they haven't won at home in 2 years.
Totally. That was Nate Fraser with sports.
Mackenzie, are you a cat lover?
Oh, absolutely. I adore them. And speaking of cats, coming up after the break, our Try This reporter Tristan Mottershead goes to a cat cafe for the very first time.
It is a beautiful winter day down here at Horillac Park. We are celebrating the 33rd annual Silver Skate Festival. We're going to give you a bunch of reasons to come down and join us right after the break.
NewsWatch music provided by Martin Mayer Productions.
Welcome back. Nora, I have a question for you. What's the best part about your morning cup of coffee?
Well, Mackenzie, for me, it's being able to spend some time with my cat before my day starts.
Then our Try This segment is for you. Our Tristan Mottershead explores Edmonton's very own cat cafe.
Welcome to the Cat Cafe. Located on White, this past Wednesday I got to go and visit the cafe for myself. If you love cats and you're looking for a way to kill an hour, this place is perfect for you. You can come play board games, cuddle some cats, and of course, grab yourself a hot or a cold drink from the cafe inside.
The environment is super warm and welcoming here. We have a total of 8 kitties.
Upon paying the entry fee, I got unlimited drinks for the hour that I was there. And the best part was, everything was cat themed. This place is a cat owner's dream. Tons of cats have been fostered here and found homes.
So Save Team gathers cats all through Canada. We've had cats from Montreal come in the past before, and then essentially when they get their shots and all their stuff that need done, they get brought to the cat cafe here. Currently we're not doing any adoptions, but they still do adoptions on their end, so we do act as a temporary foster home for them.
Sitting down with these cats, it made it impossible not to want to take one of them home. My name is Tristan Mottershead with NAIT NewsWatch, and if you're looking for the perfect way to spend your day, come down to the Cat Cafe on White. Thank you so much, guys.
You know, Nora, you've probably heard me say this before, but one of my favorite things to do is dance.
I'm well aware. You've mentioned it once or twice.
But this time I have a reason. We have dance news we're covering, and our own Adam Dalkey has more on that.
We do have dance news, guys! Do you enjoy graceful movement and traditional Ukrainian-style clothing? Have you ever wanted to watch the movie Midsummer, but didn't want to be incredibly upset the entire time? Well, Edmonton's Shumka Dance School has you covered. 250 students took to the stage last Sunday for Shumka's annual winter dance concert. Young people from ages 3 to 20 showcased their ability and celebrated Ukrainian tradition in front of a packed audience through the medium of Shumka. While the Shumka School usually teaches students from around the Edmonton area, this year included a few who were more international.
It's actually the first time that we have some new people from Ukraine that have come to Canada, and they're dancing with us. They've come from Ukraine, they've joined our dance group, and they get to be on stage with us today and feel that Ukrainian culture and that family that we have here in Canada.
Shumka's year-end concert is on May 7th, but you can catch the dancers at several festivals before then throughout the year. From humble beginnings of a few thousand members of the Dutch Canadian Club to nearly 100,000 attendees today, Edmonton's longest-running winter festival is here yet again to celebrate our winter traditions. For the 33rd year in a row, Hawrelak Park is host to the Silver Skate Festival, one of the biggest winter events we have here in Edmonton. There's a ton to do for people both day and night. From the largest skating pond in the city, a snow sculpture garden made from teams from around the world, and movies you can watch on a screen made entirely of snow. You can feel the love that goes into making an event like this happen.
We've got a lot of great winter stories and prairie life to share and showcase through our arts, through our culture, through our sport. There's just a variety of activities and opportunities to celebrate our winter story.
Silver Skate goes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and finishes on February 20th. Netflix has changed its policy for password sharing, and it's caused many Netflix users to voice their strong opinions on the matter. Our very own Rebecca Warak has more on that story.
Netflix has established itself as one of the main streaming platforms used today. Though for Netflix users, the password sharing era has ended. With an average of over 200 million users worldwide, around 100 million watch Netflix while using someone else's account.
I feel like we should still be able to share passwords and stuff in between friends so we don't have to pay for it extra on top of our tuition and stuff. And it's just going to add an extra charge to our free time, which we barely get anymore.
The streaming platform will now charge a fee to users sharing an account for one or more locations outside of a singular household.
If I'm not using it, just keep paying it. So if other person is using it's better, but now they are saying they are changing a policy. I think I'm not happy with that.
Netflix's premium plan allows 4 users to watch at the same time for $20.99 a month, but it will also have a $7.99 fee for every additional user in a new location, but only up to 2. Netflix is implementing this policy system to protect customer account security by having users select their one primary location for streaming use.
With competition from other streaming platforms that haven't quite cracked down on password sharing yet, time will tell if Netflix users will be parting from their service. For NAIT NewsWatch, I'm Becca Warak.
So we're going to be off the air for a week after this. What are you guys planning on doing with your time off?
I like to stay at home with my cat and maybe watch movies.
Personally, I look for any excuse to go skating. What about you, Adam?
I honestly don't know. This is the first year I've ever been allowed outside of my house.
That's all we have for you tonight.
We hope to see you back here on the first Friday of March. Good night.